a lot of people, I think, are not aware of what a really good player he was. I mean, as I said, he was the rookie of the year he did make the team. He made the jump from Gastonia, Class A, to the major leagues, which even to this day is very, very rare for a player to make that kind of a jump. He not only made the jump, but he made it stick. He hit 323 that year for the Rangers and was voted the rookie of the year. And two other rookies that year were Paul Molitor and Robin Yount, who both, of course, were in the Hall of Fame. And he always enjoyed kidding those guys later on in his career that they both are in the Hall of Fame, but he got the Rookie of the Year trophy that year. And it was in that first year in Texas, the 1974 season, his rookie year, that the Beer Night Riot happened in Cleveland. And I don't know how much of you guys know what the background of that, but the background was the week before that riot, there was a big brawl in Texas between the Indians and the Rangers, and it was really kind of almost as bad as the Cleveland riot. The Indians players were like almost climbing over the dugout into the stands, trying to get at the fans who were throwing stuff at them. And Billy Martin, the explosive Billy Martin, was the manager of that Texas team. And they asked him, they knew that they were going to be playing in Cleveland the next week. They asked Billy Martin if he was concerned about going to Cleveland. And he said, they don't have enough fans to be worried about. And he was right. Indians only averaged about 5,000 or 6,000 fans a game during those bleak years of the franchise. And that spawned this idea that, well, why don't we have a 10-cent beer night where we'll sell cups of beer for 10 cents and a lot of people will come and, we'll make a lot of money at least that one night and we'll have a big attendance. Well, all of that happened. They drew 25,000 fans that night, which was June 4th, 1974. And the beer flowed and the crowd got more rowdy as the game went on. It was interesting because I actually went to that game as a fan, not because of the beer, just to see the game. And it was one of the weirdest experiences I've had as a fan or a writer. I don't know if maybe you guys have experienced where you've been in a crowd situation where you can just kind of feel the vibe getting more and more weird and dangerous. And it was a hot, humid night in the old Cleveland Stadium. And you could just sense that something was going on here that it wasn't going to end well. And fans were kind of running out on the field almost from the first inning on. It never got to the riot stage till the last inning or two, but you could just feel that this was not going to end well. And I ended up just leaving early because I thought to myself, this is going to end up being a riot and I don't want to be in the middle of a riot. So I actually listened to the riot on the way home on my car radio. But so the fans were running out on the field. As the game went on, it got more and more rowdy, and the umpires and the police, the security force, was unable to control the crowd. And it finally peaked in the ninth inning. The Indians were actually losing by a run, but they had the bases loaded and nobody out, and they were on the verge of a walk-off victory when Hargrove was playing first base for the Rangers, and he turned around to Jeff Burroughs, who was the right fielder, and he saw a fan run out there and try to steal Burroughs' glove and hat. So Hargrove ran out in the right field and basically clocked this guy and decked him with a punch. And that's when the riot actually started. Everyone just poured onto the field, and the Rangers rather, they came pouring out of the dugout because Billy Martin had a team rule that said, if we ever have a team fight, if anybody stays in the dugout, I'm going to trade you the next day. So the Rangers were almost beat everyone out onto the field because they saw there was going to be a fight. And it wasn't a fight with the Indians. It was actually a fight with the other fans who were trying to, beat up the Rangers players, basically. The Rangers actually got congregated on the pitcher's mound, and the Indians came out of their dugout and kind of fought their way through the crowd and got the Rangers into the dugout and out of harm's way. But meanwhile, back in Texas and Perryton, when Hargrove became a player with the Rangers, a small radio station in Perryton carried all the Rangers games just because Hargrove was on the team. And that game was on the radio, but the reception wasn't very good. So Sharon Hargrove, her and Mike were only been married for a couple of years at that point, the reception wasn't good. So her and her father were driving around town just trying to get a good reception. And she's listening to this riot on the radio, and she's saying to her father, she's getting like more and more panicky that he's never, her actual quote was, he's never going to get out of there alive. This is not going to end good. And so she was a nervous wreck. They finally got the Indians or the Rangers into the clubhouse. they told him to stay there for 2 hours after the game. They got a police escort to the hotel, told them not to come out of their hotel rooms till noon the next day. And then they finally got out of Cleveland. That was I think the last game of the series. But the other interesting part about that is the night of the Beer Night Riot was literally the first time Mike Hargrove had ever been in Cleveland. He was a rookie in the league. He'd never been to Cleveland before. So his first exposure to Cleveland was that riot. He got traded from the Rangers a couple years later to San Diego, and he was there for only a couple of weeks, and he was unhappy with his role there. He wasn't playing much, so the Padres traded him to the Indians in the middle of the '79 season. And Sharon Hargrove actually sat down in her apartment in San Diego and cried because she thought of all the places we're getting traded to, the place where the riot was, her only frame of reference for Cleveland was the riot. So she was not real thrilled about the trade, but Hargrove was because he got a chance to play